Okay, so hi everyone, hope everyone's okay. I hope the audio is okay. I still haven't done a video of the microphone setup that I've got, but I will do that when I get round to it. It was surprisingly good, considering how much of a hack it was, but that'll come shortly. So I'm just out on just a gentle afternoon ride, to be fair. I'm riding down to the coast this evening with the lads, but I just thought I'd come out and just do a brief ride, really, just maybe do a bit of a vlog and talk to all of you lovely people for a little bit. So I want to firstly give a big shout out to a group called Mental Riders. I'd never heard of this group until recently, but thanks to a guy called Shock Rider, who I'll tag in this video so that he knows I'm a man of my word. I did promise him that I would give Mental Riders a bit of a shout out. So Mental Riders are basically a mental health based biker group, and everybody's welcome to join. All you need to do to join is just purchase one of their hoodies. They've got other bits and bobs on their website as well. They've got t-shirts, keychains, sticker sets, and 10% of their profits go to certain mental health charities. So it's a good cause. So if you have a look on their website, mentalhealthriders.com, check them out and feel free to spend a little bit of money, and if you like, therefore donate a little bit of money to mental health charities as well. It's quite an apt subject, actually. I wanted to talk a little bit about mental health. Not having that. I wanted to talk a little bit about mental health because most bikers will agree that your bike is a really good form of mental health therapy. It can also be a source of stress because it's quite expensive, and when things go wrong then it can be a bit of a pain. But generally speaking, if you've had a tough week at work or just a busy week at work, then getting out on your bike is a really good way of finishing off the week. And also the biking community, for the most part, is a really good supportive community. You do get the odd one or two people that are not quite supportive. You do get the odd biker that's judgmental. Some people unfortunately look their nose down at other riders, especially people on smaller bikes or 125s. But for the most part, everybody is quite friendly and supportive, and it's a really good community to be part of. So a shout out to everybody who rides bikes, and even those that don't yet ride bikes, even those that have an interest in bikes. People who might be thinking of getting into biking, or people that just generally like bikes. So we do get a lot of support from people. So yeah, big shout out to everyone, really. Look after your own mental health. And one of the things that, I mean, we're getting better at mental health, aren't we? We're getting better as a society at recognising poor mental health and talking about poor mental health, and talking about it is one of the ways that we can encourage people to step forward and ask for help when they need it. If people feel that it's not safe to come forward because they might get ridiculed or feel weak because they might be suffering, then they're not going to come forward. They're not going to get that help, and that's going to make them worse. So if you're a biker, or just being human in general, just look out for people and just make it normal to talk about mental health, because we're more than likely to get those that need help to come forward and actually ask for help. So yeah, I'm going to split this video into a couple of parts actually, because TikTok only let me upload 10-minute videos maximum for some reason. I can't yet upload 30-minute videos, and I don't know why. So and I think I've took a wrong turn in. But yeah, so look out for each other, especially in the biking community, and just help each other out. Okay, so somebody asked me in the comments to one of my previous videos if I would do a bit of a commentary video to maybe just share with people what I'm thinking of and what my mindset is while I'm riding. So I'm happy to do that. What I will say, however, is I'm not an advanced rider. I might do some things that other people won't or wouldn't do. I'll just ride as steadily and as safe as possible, and I'll just talk about what I notice and what I'm thinking about. The first thing I would probably recommend to others is think about the fact that when you first get on that bike, you need to give chance for the bike to warm up, get your tyres to warm up before you start, you know, asking the tyres to do anything serious. Get the bike up to temperature, and even yourself, get you up to temperature. You know, you might be jumping on the bike after a hard day's work or a stressful day's work, and whilst I said earlier in the video that getting on your bike can be a really good form of therapy and a really good relief from a bit of a tough day, but the last thing you want to do is jump on the bike where you're, you know, wired to the moon, where you're highly strung, highly stressed, because that could cloud your judgment and cause you to make silly mistakes. You know, the red mist could come down and you could go too mental too quickly. So yeah, just make sure the bike's warmed up, you're warmed up, and just ease into it before you start opening it up. So I've turned on to a little bit of a country lane. So what I'm thinking of here is that there might well be animals like pheasants, deer. I mean, I know there's no deer here, but in other country lanes there could be. You've got a little bit of mud on the road there from the tractor, albeit starting to dry out, but it is going to reduce the grip. You've got people like a cyclist there, tractors coming out of hidden exits and hidden turnings. So you've got to look out for all of that really. This corner is a good example to show that it's a right hand corner, so I'm moving over to the left of the lane, and that increases my vision around the corner. There's a car coming from that exit, so I'm just keeping an eye on what that car's doing. You'll notice that I did move over to the right slightly, even though you wouldn't normally do that at that point of a bend. But because that car was coming from the left, it just gives a little bit of distance between me and that car should I need to react. So another left-hand bend, I'm staying to the, sorry, right-hand bend, I'm staying to the left. A left-hand bend, I'm staying to the right now. Keeping open, looking as far around the corner as I possibly can. Cornering confidence, or the basis of cornering confidence, is vision. You need to be able to see where you're going so that you can plan where you're going to go, but also react to anything that's coming. So I'm staying wide so I can see. Now bear in mind, this isn't a racing line or anything like that, it's just a sensible way of getting around the corners on the roads. I've got slow markers on the ground telling me there's a hazard coming up. There's a couple of exits, one to my right, one to my left, so I've got to be careful of cars pulling out last minute, because cars won't be looking for bikes, most of them, and in many cases even if they're looking they won't even see you, so you've got to be prepared to stop. I'm waiting for a safe place to overtake. I can see well up ahead. I make the overtake, giving them plenty of room, and then I get back in. Right hand bend, so I'm coming out to the left. Changes into a left hand bend, I'm moving over to the right slightly. I'm staying to the right because again it's another left hand bend. I can see us a little bit further around the corner if I'm over to the right hand side of my lane, but not too close that I get too close to the cars coming the other way. So all the time I'm looking as far as I can ahead, but I'm scanning the ground in front of me as well. I'm not staring at the ground down in front of me. I'm aware of what's in front of me, but I'm concentrating a little bit more on things that are ahead, because the further away you can see something, the more time you've got to react to it. So you've got farms on the left there, could be farm traffic coming out. Another sort of tight-ish left-hander, so I'm coming out to the right, and then as I turn in I move slightly back in so that I'm away from the white line, or a safe distance from the white line. And then I'm coming up to a 30-mile-an-hour zone, so I've got to be aware that not only do I need to slow down, but the cars in front of me are going to be slowing down as well. So what I normally do, folks, is that if I know I'm going to probably need to come to a stop or slow down a lot, I'll rest my two fingers on top of my brake lever and sometimes on top of my clutch lever, and that means that it just minimises the time it's going to take for me to actually come off the throttle and apply the brakes. There's nothing behind me, so I'm going to slow down and demonstrate this. If my fingers are not on the clutch, on the brake lever, then I need to slow down. I need to lift my fingers up and then over. Now, your lever position matters a little bit as well, and I've done a previous video talking about the position of your levers so that your wrists aren't bent up, bent upwards, putting excess fatigue on your wrists. But ultimately, 20-mile-an-hour zone now, ultimately what you want to do is, as you're coming off the throttle, you want the coming off the throttle and reaching for the lever to be one smooth movement. So I'll do it with this other hand to show you. Coming off the throttle and reaching for the lever to be one smooth movement. You don't want to be coming off the throttle and then lifting it back up again to get onto the lever. But as I say, sometimes I'll ride along with my fingers resting on the lever just in case I do need to brake. It just minimises the reaction times. Now, I'm not actually holding the brake, I'm not pulling the brake, but what it also allows me to do is that if I do need to brake heavily, then I can engage the first 5% of the brake lever, which means I'll be clamping the pads onto the discs ever so slightly to take that initial bite, and then progressively squeeze the lever if you need to brake in an emergency. So again, progressively squeeze the lever if you need to brake in emergency. The last thing you want to have to do is, in a sort of knee-jerk reaction, grab the lever, because that's when you don't give the suspension and the tyres enough time to do what they have to do. And sometimes that's when people can wash the front end out, especially if the road conditions are a little bit wet. So roundabout coming up, I'm keeping an eye on this car, make sure he's not turning right. It's all clear. There's a little bit of dust and again old sort of, you know, mud that's dried out in the middle of the road, but it's not too bad. I'm going to pull onto the dual carriageway now. So again, roundabout coming up, nothing coming at the moment. I've no need to slow down. Checking, always being aware of what's behind me as well. So I can speed up a little bit now. I know I'm going to come onto a sharp sort of left-hand U-turn, if you will, a hairpin. And I also know that there's a lot of crap on the road from old construction traffic and farm traffic, so I'm not caning it too much around this bend, but I'm staying a little bit wide. Check the entrance, check that I can get onto the dual carriageway okay, indicate, over the shoulder, and away I go. So know that there's cars in my left hand, in the right hand lane, indicate over the shoulder, and it's safe for me to pass. Now on the dual carriageway, same on a motorway, you should always be planning ahead, just as much as you would be on a busy road. So I know that up ahead there's a HGV, which means that that white van that's sitting behind the HGV might want to pull out at some point, and he might not see me in his mirror, so I need to anticipate. I don't think he is going to, but I need to anticipate that he might pull out. And not only am I looking for him to indicate, but I'm looking at his wheels to see if his wheels get closer and closer to the white line. You'll see that car was on the right as well, waiting to cross, so I was keeping an eye on him to make sure he wasn't edging forward. And then after this blue Mini, this Nissan should pull in. There you go. And I've got a little bit of a clear run now, but I still need to be aware that cars might still pull into the right hand lane. I'm checking behind me to make sure I'm not holding anyone else up. Another HGV up ahead, so there you go, there's a car up ahead pulling out to the right now because he's approaching the HGV. And I know it splits into 3 lanes now, so I've got an extra lane if I need to overtake these cars, but I'm not going too fast. I'm not really fussed about overtaking at the moment. Another car I need to be aware. I'm checking his wheels, make sure he's not pulling out. And now I'm looking as far up this road as I can, around this left-hand bend, to try and see what the traffic's doing ahead, trying to anticipate what the traffic might be doing. So I'll leave it there, folks, because this video can only be about 10 minutes long. Again, I might have to split it into a couple of videos if it's gone on for a little bit more than 10 minutes. But that was just an idea. There is so much more to cover. There is so much more I could go into. But as I say, ultimately, some of the key points is plan ahead as far as you can. Try to predict what other cars can do. Think about your position in the road to be able to increase your vision. And just be aware of what's behind you as well, especially before you change lanes, because there might be something faster that's coming up on the right. And then other than that, when you first start to ride, just make sure you get the bike warmed up, make sure your tyres get warmed up, and make sure you're warmed up before you start doing anything to heroic. So if you have any other questions, folks, or if there's anything else you want me to talk about, then just let me know and I'll do my best to cover whatever it is you'd like me to cover. Other than that, stay safe, enjoy the weather while we've still got it, and enjoy your bikes.